Good. All right. Go ahead. Give her a clang. All right. I'll call our regular public council meeting to order for Monday, October 30th, 2023. Before we start, I just want to introduce my friend here that's going to help me chair the meeting tonight. And it's Allie Mercer. She's one of the winners of our Mayor for Day contest that we did last year. And the big prize this year for this is to come and sit and participate in a regular public council meeting, which is way better than doing a pretend public council meeting, right? And Allie's in grade 6 in Madame Hako's class at Juniper Ridge Intermediate. And she's going to be my right-hand woman here tonight as we go forward. So, all right. You can just read that.
Agenda minutes.
Okay, agenda minutes. New business. Councillor Manning.
Thank you.
Good. Now, here is that. Councillor Pollard.
Congratulations.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you.
And I got thanks. Mayor Ellie, you got it. You're going to do a thank you, are you, at the end? Okay, perfect. Thanks for you. All right, can I get a motion? Oh, do we have any Q&A stuff? No, we didn't receive none? No. Okay, perfect. All right, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda as amended, please?
So moved.
Moved, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. What's next on our list? Adoption of public council meeting minutes for October 16th. Can I get a motion to adopt those, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second, any errors or omissions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Go ahead.
Conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest. So, I saw it there a second ago. Our sheet was handed out with the potential conflicts that might arise tonight. If something comes up, be sure to mention it when that item comes forward. Alrighty.
Proclamations, presentations, question and answer session.
There you go. So we don't have any question and answer, but we do have some proclamations. Alrighty, what's the first one? Can you read that?
Proclamation, Canadian Down Syndrome Week, October 22nd, 28.
Alright. And who has that one?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll have that.
Okay.
Canadian Down Syndrome Week, October 22nd to the 28th, 2023. Whereas Canada has a diverse and dynamic population, rich in strengths, resources, and abilities. Whereas the successful and productive future of all Canadians is intimately linked to our commitment to ensure that all our citizens have the opportunity to reach their full potential. Whereas fellow Canadians with Down syndrome and their families are members of our communities and are deeply committed to ensuring that all individuals have the opportunity to grow, develop, and succeed. Whereas Canadian Down Syndrome Week is a week of educational programming directed to ensuring all individuals with Down syndrome live complete and fulfilling lives with public knowledge, awareness, and appreciation of the strengths and contributions of individuals with Down syndrome.
Now therefore, I, Craig Scott, Mayor of the Town of Torbay, do hereby proclaim October 22nd to the 28th, 2023 as Canadian Down Syndrome Week. In the Town of Torbay, encourage all residents to become educated about Down syndrome, to recognize the abilities of children, youth, and adults who have Down syndrome, and to participate in activities during the week in recognition thereof. So moved.
Mayor Scott?
We have to stop the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. We're just going to pause for a second until Councillor Manning comes back.
She's got it. She got some over. Yeah. I might want to let everybody know why.
Okay, we'll just pause while Councilor Manning stepped out, that's all.
Yeah, because we don't have a quorum.
So you know what that means? So, in order to be able to have a public council meeting, there's a couple things we gotta have. We gotta have a quorum, which means a majority of the members of council. So there's 7 people on council. In order to have a meeting, we gotta have 4 in the meeting. And we gotta have a clerk. Can't have a meeting without a clerk. Right? That's it.
The Colonels and Colitis Proclamation. Margaret McLean is here for that.
Okay, all right, yeah. Is there anybody here for this one? Okay.
All right.
Okay, all right, good, all right. Where am I to? Yes, so
All in
moved.
favor?
Need a seconder.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Was there, we didn't have anybody here that wanted to speak to the Down syndrome proclamation? It's hard to tell sometimes when, okay. Perfect. I'm gonna read this one.
World Town Planning Day, November 8th, 2023.
Okay, we have proclamation for World Town Planning Day.
I got that one.
You got that one?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Proclamation World Town Planning Day, November 8, 2023. Whereas November 8th is being recognized as World Town Planning Day, an international practice that has been celebrated worldwide since 1949, and whereas the Newfoundland Labrador Association of Professional Planners, an affiliate of the Canadian Institute of Planners, recognizes this day to raise awareness about who professional planners are and celebrate their accomplishments and influence on their communities and the environment. And whereas change and growth is constant and affects all countries, provinces, cities, and towns, including the town of Torbay, and where inclusive and comprehensive community planning can help manage and direct the change in a way that is sustainable and provides better choices for use of resources and economic development, as well as how people live, work, learn, and play. And whereas on November 8th, special events are being hosted all across the world in recognition of this day, including here in Newfoundland and Labrador. And whereas NLAPP is going to present a Community Builder Award and the Jack Elliston Memorial Award of Media Excellency, and have a special presentation on the topic of equity, diversity, and inclusion in public engagement and urban planning by Richard Seymour of McGill University. And whereas World Town Planning Day is a special day where we celebrate the valuable contribution sound planning makes to the quality of life in our community and all levels of government.
Therefore, I, Mayor Craig Scott, do hereby proclaim the 8th day of November 2023 as World Town Planning Day in the town of Torbay. Signed at Town Hall, Torbay, this 30th day of October 2023. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments?
Yes, sir. I just want to say thanks to all our planning staff here, of course, all our staff as well, but certainly planning staff, in recognition of World Town Planning Day for their contribution to the community of Torbay overall and the work they do on a daily basis, putting up with us and having to listen to us say no to something that probably makes sense to everybody else. But anyway, certainly appreciate their effort. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other comment? I would just like to highlight the fact that, Tony, what you're saying, we do have currently a committee of residents and coming forward with our planning staff to work on our town plan review. So it's great to be able to get input from people who the plan is going to affect directly. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. And you got the other one too, do you, buddy? Proclamation, Crohn's. Can you read it?
Crohn's and Colitis Awareness Month,
Oh,
November 2023.
All right, good job. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Your Worship. Proclamation for Crohn's and Colitis Awareness Month, November 2023. Whereas Crohn's and Colitis Canada is a national volunteer-based non-profit organization supporting more than 322,000 Canadians living with Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, chronic autoimmune diseases that cause the body to attack healthy tissue, leading to inflammation of part or all of the digestive system. And whereas people living with IBD routinely endure abdominal pain, cramping, fatigue, internal bleeding, and frequent and urgent bowel movements, in some cases more than 20 times a day. While more than 5 million people globally live with IBD, Canada has one of the highest prevalence rates in the world, with the Atlantic provinces having the highest rates in the country. By 2035, experts predict the number of Canadians living with IBD to exceed 470,000, over 1% of the population. Currently, there is no cure for Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, and whereas Crohn's and Colitis Canada focuses on improving the lives of people affected by Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis at all stages of life from every corner of the country. This is why Crohn's and Colitis Canada is on a relentless journey to find a cure for these lifelong diseases and improve the quality of life of everyone in Canada affected by these diseases.
Therefore, I, Mayor Craig Scott, on behalf of the town of Torbay Council, proclaim the month of November 2023 to be Crohn's and Colitis Awareness Month. Furthermore, I urge people to learn more about Crohn's and Colitis Canada and work with organizations by visiting their website, www.crohnsandcolitis.ca. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. We do have one of the volunteers, Margaret McQueen. Are you here? She's not here? Okay. So, Margaret was going to come and for the proclamation signing, but something just came up. Okay. I should have checked beforehand, I suppose. Very good. Thank you, sir. Presentations. October 30th, 2023. Okay. Where are we to now? Right here. Presentations. Certificates of recognition.
Certificates of recognition.
Okay, so we have, I guess, a special treat for us tonight. So we do have a couple of certificates of recognition to give out here, and it's not something that we do a lot at the town. So when we do hand those out, it's pretty important. It's pretty important. Is David Hannums here?
Yes.
Did you want to get up and talk about this, or did you want me to talk about what you...
Stand here and talk about it?
You can come up to the microphone there, so everybody can hear you.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, my name is David Hannums, and September the 2nd, I was walking home, and for lack of a better word, I died. I had a cardiac arrest on the road. Not something anybody expects to happen. Of course, you're just out for a regular stroll and that happens to you. Lucky for me, I had a guardian angel there at that moment. And that's Barry. Barry's sitting here at the back. And Barry also brought with him a series of great background experience. He has like 29 years of medical experience. So at that moment, I needed someone to do CPR. And Barry was my guardian angel. So without that, of course, a stopped heart. If you don't get that heart beating, you're not going to make it. And he did that for me. And he was there for, I'll say, 10 minutes or more. you know, doing compressions, which if you've ever done it even in training, doing chest compressions even in training for a minute or two is pretty exhausting. And he did that as long as was required till an ambulance showed up, and actually the Torbay Volunteer Fire Department then showed up as well. So, like I say, I can't thank him enough, because without him, I certainly wouldn't be here speaking to you. And I just want to make sure that people are aware of that, and everybody in the community needs to be able to do first aid, learn these things, because you never know when the person next to you is going to need your help. Like I say, I didn't have any issues. I thought I was fine until that happened. So thank you very much. Like I say, and Cassandra's not here. Cassandra's not here. Yeah. I don't know if you have.
I have
You have her certificate as well? Yeah. So Barry was assisted by Cassandra, so there were 2 people there helping me at that time. And like I say, unfortunately, Cassandra tonight's not feeling well, so she won't be able to be here. But again, thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure to speak to you. Otherwise, without these guys, I wouldn't be speaking to you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, David, and I listened to what you say there, and it's so true that things can happen like that in a heartbeat. Pardon the pun, but if there's someone around that can help and assist you at that time, can make all the difference. And I always harp on how important our volunteer fire department is that we have here in Torbay. And we're so lucky that throughout the town, I meet people all the time. We have so many doctors, nurses, and firefighters and paramedics that live within the confines of this area. That is amazing. And it's, we've heard other stories of people being rescued swimming, and, it's really wonderful when something like that can happen. And I'm very happy that you're not dead, like you said, right?
Good story.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing you later on in the month at the.
You'll see me walk the road. I walk the road all the time.
I know. So yeah, it's a really great story, and it's my honor and councils and staffs here to be able to present our award tonight to Barry, and we'll make sure that Cassandra gets hers as well as the recognition. I mean, it's very important, and I think that it's really nice that we can take the words that you sent to us and turn them into something that we can do for you. So I want to thank you, and I thank you, and we'll get up and we'll do that now. All right. We'll get a picture with you too.
You just follow me.
Great.
So, come on, Barry. So it's a certificate of recognition, Citizen Life Saving Award. And its award is presented to Barry Mullet, October 30th, 2023, in recognition of your selfless and courageous act to render life-saving aid in a sudden and unexpected situation. This award is presented for your prompt response and successful life-saving actions to a medical crisis on September 2nd, 2023, which resulted in the preservation of life, the life of your neighbor who experienced cardiac arrest. Thank you. And we're going to get a picture now with our assistant mayor. And then you.
You get David
Get
in.
one for you to give your parents, and then we'll just get a picture with me and Barry.
You got to get one for David in with you guys too,
Oh, yes,
seeing
oh,
that's
yeah.
who you saved.
Yeah. So that was a picture for you to give that picture. More. Oh, man.
He's mad.
Oh, sure. You get on the other side.
Yeah.
Let him in the middle.
You will see me.
You know, I had you one day, when you were in my hands, so it's really great. That's the reward.
Huge.
So we can send a picture of her. That was nice, wasn't it?
I went right to school.
Yeah, okay. Wasn't that wonderful? So if you ever get a
Oh,
chance
yeah.
to do any
Look up the
CPR
road for me.
training.
Yeah.
All right, now, where am I?
Then bail if they want to, Craig.
Excellent.
Craig,
Yeah,
you can let them bail if they want to.
yeah, Tony
Yeah.
just informed me that you don't have to stay for the whole council meeting if you don't want to.
We're gonna put you through
wanna
that.
Why,
take
you
off.
can stay if you want.
See,
Yeah.
I'll see you at the special needs party.
Yeah, Christmas party. See ya.
All right. Thank you very much again. See you guys, thank you.
See you later.
All righty.
Mayor's report.
Mayor's report. I wasn't gonna be here tonight,
Huh.
but you guys couldn't live without me, so I don't really had a report done off, but what I will report on briefly is, this past weekend we had our M&L annual conference and AGM. And myself, Deputy Mayor, Councilor Manning, Councilor Pollard, and Councilor Epping were all in attendance along with the CAO
And Julia.
and our Director of Planning. There were I got a lot of compliments, and I must say, because I kind of play a dual role when I'm there, because I'm on the M&L board, part of the people responsible, I guess, for putting that off. I just want to say that it's pretty amazing what they can do. That conference had over 600 people registered. So many sessions over a period of between Wednesday and Saturday. And M&L has a staff complement of 7 people. And it's pretty large undertaking. And I just want to say that they did a great job. And there was a lot of great sessions. There's a lot of new things coming up. It's not every day that you get a chance to sit in a room and walk around to tables and talk to almost all the ministers in the provincial government and bend their ear a little bit and ask them questions and advise them of what we think is good and what we think is not good. So that was a great opportunity, and I think that it can never be understated, the benefit that we get from attending those conferences and being able to network that way, because you can do all the training you want and all the research you want, but it's hard to replace that personal communication and personal connection that you can make with people when you go there. So, and the only other thing I would say is that it was confirmed on the weekend that my board position, I was successful in retaining that during election. I was acclaimed, which is always good. And I want to thank Councillor Appleby for her service on the board for the last number of years. Her position was up for election, and unfortunately for her, she didn't get elected again. But that doesn't diminish the amount of work that she's put in over the last probably 6 years that she's been on that board, and I thank you for her contribution. And that's it for my mayor's report. You got anything to report? No, you're good? All right. Okay, next on the list. Business arising. Sorry, I had my finger over it.
Business arising.
Okay. Business arising report is there from October 30th. Anybody have any issues on there or items they want to talk about? Okay, seeing none. Next on the list.
Correspondence.
Correspondence. We have a correspondence from Municipal Assessment Agency, report to stakeholders session at the MNL convention and the MAA annual report and the 2023 financial statements. So that's all there for our information purposes. We have another one from Municipal Assessment Agency as well. Is a memo from MAA. So they can be forwarded on to Corporate Services. All right, next one.
Committees of Council. Committee of the Whole.
Okay, we got no committee of the whole reports.
Planning and Land Use Development.
Okay, Planning Land Use Development, Councillor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship. We met on the 24th. There's a few motions here to be done. The first one is C 2023-089 for office, shop use building and self-storage mall on Torbay Road. It's just across there from BDP Rentals. We discussed the need for water detention in the area because there is a drainage ditch going around the back of that as well. It is also close to some residents there that we need to do some buffering or some fencing close by that particular piece of property. Other than that, it's pretty clear to the back towards Salerno Lane, actually. And it looks like an interesting proposition, so we don't have any problem in agreeing to bring this forward for a condition to approve based on the conditions that are outlined here. So, motion to conditionally approve application C 2023-089 for a proposed combined commercial, retail office and light industrial storage mall use at 1172 Torbay Road in accordance with Regulation 33 and 90, the Torbay Development Regulations 2015 to 2025, and more specifically the mixed land use zone, as well as conditions outlined in associated background report, particularly as it relates to associated site grading and storm water management requirements. The development is also required to provide privacy buffering towards the residential property to the north in a manner acceptable to the town, the provision of a lighting plan acceptable to the town, and to comply with the town's noise and nuisance regulations. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Next one, Your Worship, is for 4-unit extensions. It's C 2023-096. Looks like the same numbers before. Nope, sorry. For a 4-unit extension for residential apartment use, it's presently has 6 apartments attached to it. So once again, we're in dire need of additional occupancy space in town, so we don't have any problem bringing forward a recommendation here. So the motion to conditionally approve application C 2023-096 for proposed 4-unit extension, semi-serviced, to the existing apartment building and conversion of one of the existing units from a 1-bedroom to a 2-bedroom apartment at 1359 Torbay Road in accordance with Regulation 33 and 90, the Torbay Development Regulations 2015 to 2025, more specifically also the TC Land Use Zone Table, the conditions outlined in associated background report, and the protection of the existing tree buffer along the western property boundary, and submission of a landscaping plan. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
The next one is for accessory building in flanking street side yard. So the motion to conditionally approve application C 2023-116 for proposed 74.32 square meter, 800 square foot large accessory building in the flanking side street at 149 Marine Drive in accordance with condition number 5B of the RMD Land Use Zone Table as per section 38, item 3 of the Torbay Development Regulations 2015 to 2025, and subject to the development meeting standard building conditions in the town of Torbay and the existing accessory building being removed. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? In favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I will read the next one, Your Worship, because I'm not an expert on the whole way this comes to be, but it has to do with the radon test challenge that has been put out by the Canadian Association of Radon Scientists and Technologists, and radon gas is, I guess, probably not a recent phenomenon, but certainly a recent item in news, and that is gas that is comes from basements of homes, I guess, and there's a test out to determine that. So I'll just read this down. The town of Torbay has been approached by the Canadian Association of Radon Scientists and Technologists to participate in the 100 Radon Test Kit Challenge, which is a program that raises awareness and gathers data locally about radon gas by distributing 100 free test kits to communities where testing has thus far been limited. It is an initiative supported by Health Canada, and a number of Newfoundland and Labrador municipalities have already participated in or are participating in it this season. The program is free of cost. Draft communication materials have been prepared by Karst. The only commitment by the town of Torbay are staff resources associated with promotions and communications surrounding the program and the handing out and collecting of the test kits. Background information on the program is included. So the committee supports the program and wants to make sure that the town is fully prepared for all steps in the process, and that any questions that may arise from residents, particularly in the case of some of the tests come back positive, can be answered by the town. The committee is also hoping that the town's marketing office can take over running this initiative with assistance from planning and development and corporate services. The committee also wants to make sure that the town does not miss any participation deadline set by Karst. Therefore, the following motion is tabled. Motion for the council to support the town of Torbay participating in the 100 Radon Test Kit Challenge, and for the program to be assigned to the marketing division with the support of planning and development and corporate services for content preparation and rollout. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments or questions?
Just want to say that this is, I guess, one of the concerns from, I guess, committee point of view was the added workload that would be on staff if the results of this test come back positive, or there's a bunch of questions around that, and I think in the communications that there would be clear communication to actually address those to the Canadian Association or the health group, whatever it is, other than the town, because the town are not the experts in this, but the town is certainly wants to get on board with making sure that this gets out, so we'll know, have some idea what the quantity or what the prevalence of radon is in our community.
Yeah, it's fair. I don't see any different than the water test kits that we give out for people to come sample their water. If they got an issue, they have to go somewhere else with the experts or two to get that dealt with. All right, any other comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And last motion to accept permit listings for week ending October 25th, 2023 as tabled. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Worship.
All right, moving right along.
Administration and Human Resources.
Counselor Pollard. Oh, no, sorry. Deputy Mayor. Oh, lost my
It's all right.
train of thought there for a second.
Okay, that's the only time we're allowed to do that for the rest of the night now. Myself and Rhonda and Mark and our new CAO met on the 23rd. Recruitment and selection, economic development. Director advised that interviews for the week of October 30th, and the aim is to have the position staffed by November 10th. And Corporate Services Administrator, Town of Torbay, the same thing, looking at having the interviews being scheduled the week of November 6th and having the position staffed by November 17th. Accounts Receivable and Procurement Administrator, the aim is to have this position staffed by November 10th. And seasonal heavy equipment operators, 23-24, the director is currently working with the Director of Infrastructure and Public Works. So they're looking at the aim is to have the position staffed by November 10th, 2023. The policies and procedures is basically the same. The update, I'm not going to get into going down over each of them. Now that we have our new CAO, we'll be back on track. We're looking at the various policies and procedures. And the next meeting is on November 6th.
Okay, anybody have any questions on any of those items? Thank you, Deputy Mayor. How about you? Yeah,
Corporate services.
corporate services. Councilor Pollard.
Thanks again, Your Worship. I'll read out the report for, as a result of the meeting we had on the 16th. I don't know, I think it was last week. Anyway. Payroll, regular payroll for 49 employees for the 2-week period ended October 11th, 2023, total $96,840.26. For the 2-week period ended October 20th, 23, invoices in the amount of $751,857.33 were processed. The following are some invoices for council approval. The following 8 are operating invoices. They total $169,097.53 and are as follows. Garda World for security services in the amount of $8,799.04. GFL Environment Inc. for September tipping fees for $45,774.22. Municipal Assessment Agency for their 4th quarter assessment fees in the amount of $25,616.50. Granger Canada for repairs to a pumper in the amount of $13,451.23. Newfoundland Power consolidated billing to September 15, 2023, $12,416.01, and street lighting to September 28, $19,797.25. The statutory employment deductions for Receiver General of Canada for the 1st to the 15th of October in the amount of $28,493.12, and for October, the group insurance premiums for trio benefits in the amount of $14,750.16, and as I said, they all total $169,097.53. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
5 capital invoices here, 4 to Grand Concourse and 1 to Weirs Construction. They're all part and parcel of the ongoing projects that we had on the go. Grand Concourse for the Amherst Memorial in the amount of $66,243.96. Rattling Brook to Bypass Trail in the amount of $25,275.29. The War Memorial Project, $14,510.82. And the Upper Three Corner Pond Park Landscape in the amount of $78,034.04. And they were to all the Grand Concourse. And Weirs Construction for the 2023 Torbay Roads in the amount of $65,728.25, all totaling $249,792.36. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions?
I just got a question there on the Amherst Memorial. Was that funding that we were given for the age-friendly communities, that we did that?
I thought that was the one we did at Woodways Pond.
No, thought it was when we moved it, had it going in the way that it is, so that, remember it was done down there again, Mr. Mayor, for the, so that it was, yeah, but I thought that that was
Yeah, there is
funding.
some funding with that there. I guess Norm must have, or I must have forgot to tell the Director of Corporate Services on that one. There is some funding for that as
There
well.
was funding for that as well, because it's good
was.
for the public to know that that
Yeah.
was an extra money that we put in for that
Yeah, I think,
road going up
yeah. Just trying to remember what the funding was, but I can't
and
remember
for
offhand.
benches and that, but anyway, I
Yeah.
thought that there was, maybe
No, you're correct.
that's in another life, but
Okay.
And
that's it.
that's for the trail, not the memorial
Yeah,
itself, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, any other questions? All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
There's another motion, actually 2 more motions really. One is for the RNC Association 33rd Annual Community Guide. And the guide this year, it really has to do with the Teenager Drug Abuse Prevention Handbook. So we figured it'd be a good time to put some money forward for that anyway. So committee recommends that the town purchase a 1/8-page black and white ad in the amount of $275 in the 33rd Annual Community Guide, Teenagers Drug Abuse Community Guide. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments?
I think that's a really good initiative, whatever it takes to make all that happen.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
The final one under this, it was relates to the seniors' Christmas party. As you noticed, we didn't have money in for the seniors' Christmas party. We didn't see it budgeted anyway. So we looked for savings under some other GL codes, and we're going to put forward this request that we move that the budget transfer in the amount of $10,000 be from salaries and wages program staff, account number 5450-6540, move to adult and seniors programming 5374-6540. So moved.
Second.
Seconded, comments?
I think this is something worthwhile. I didn't realize, I guess, last year that that was part of the, what was it, the after snow festival or frost, what do we call it, snow treasures, when it was put in. And I think if, you know, this year or any year, we need to make sure that we have something there for our seniors' Christmas dinner.
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So there's that report, Your Worship.
Thank you, sir. Now, where are we?
Economic Development and Tourism.
Ah, good job. Councillor Manning? There's not, you don't have any motions or anything there?
No motions, and that's an update.
Okay, just the report is there, into the record. Perfect, good job.
My job here is done.
History, Heritage, Culture, and Arts.
History, Heritage, Culture, and Arts. Deputy Mayor.
Okay. We never had a meeting last week either, due to Councillor Tapper being out of the province and Councillor Manning not being available. So this is an update as well. I'm not going to get into reading anything out in here, except I would like to make mention that about the Festival of Trees, and that a community is organizing and working on the festival schedule and logistics, and there will be a competition, which I think is really a good idea, for the best tree in 3 different categories. Residents, community groups, and businesses can apply to participate beginning on November 1st. So I think this is a really good idea, and all the money that will be raised by this, the Festival of Trees, will be donated back to the Northeast Avalon Food Bank. So there's a lot of promotion in that on our website, and I'd encourage anybody that's knows of anybody, because not everybody, I keep saying, is on social media, but I think that we need to promote that as much as possible, because it's something that livens everybody up and they look forward to at Christmas time.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's turn the page.
Infrastructure and Public Works.
Infrastructure and Public Works. Councillor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship. We met on the Tuesday, 24th. I'll try not to read any duplications of what's here from week over week. As you know, the flow meter project is finished now, and the costs are winding up for that. We did get some preliminary numbers, and unfortunately, I always say unfortunately, that the draws from the pond seem to be the same as what they had been when we were doing the original metering. That's around 1,350, 1,430 cubic meters per day. So it doesn't look like there's any excess capacity existing in the North Pond, as we all had hoped at this point in time. So onward and upward with the Great Pond, and there's a couple of projects that are winding up now, and we know that surplus of these are going to be brought forward at budget to reallocate. So I won't speak to those at this point in time.
Okay.
The safety lights for the fire department and crosswalk, WSP, are still working on that design work, and hopefully get the tender out at the end of this month. Brian, I wouldn't say that the work will be done this year, would it?
No, the plan is to get the tender out and have the post and everything ordered, and that can go up. Because all the underground work is already completed. It's just a matter of pulling wires through the existing or already installed conduits. So if we don't have a very bad winter, some of it can possibly be done.
Thank you. Multi-year capital works project is, the road project is winding up, and as I indicated earlier on the surplus, there's approximately $95,000 in that, but we will speak to that again. The open space and trails for the junior softball drainage and the multi-purpose court in Pine Ridge, that has a surplus of $72,000, which we will talk about reallocating next week or later on this week. And it was all going to be directed towards the generator project, but there's a whole different set of decisions, so that's still sitting there as a to-do, I guess, on our list of the many things that we do want to do. Stormwater mitigation, the consultant is looking at the landowners in the area and getting in contact with them, anybody who may be affected by some of the work that needs to be done in the areas that are under the project. The water treatment plant for North Pond, it appears that the piece of property that the building wants to be constructed on is owned by the province, so we're requesting that we ask that the province transfer the land to us. So a motion here is write the Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure to request that the land in question, which is owned by the department, be transferred to the town to allow for the construction of the new water treatment plant. While the land is being transferred, the town would also require permission to enter the property to collect survey and geotechnical work. This would allow the project to stay on its current timeline. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? We wouldn't just do a Crown Land application for that?
I guess we'll touch base at TI and see where it goes. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
There's a motion here to finally adopt the water and sewage breakage policy. So there's a motion to adopt the water and sewage breakage and blockage policy dated October 2023 as presented. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments?
Just one comment to put in, and I read that, I guess if the landowner has 2 weeks, to go in and complete the work. If not, the town would go in and do it. I'm just thinking about individuals who are probably not in a position to be able to afford to do that right away. And I guess that's when the town will come in, because not everybody, depending on getting, it could be rather costly. So I don't know if we need to look at that, and based on 2-week turnaround for some people.
Yeah, we had a discussion on that overall in terms of people's capability to do the work
Yes.
from the property line into their house anyway, and the timing around that. So we may have to discuss that as a group in terms of whether or not we get someone from outside to do it and build back that type of scenario, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
but as it reads now, though, if we're adopting the policy, it says within them 2 weeks. So I don't know if there's something you need to put in there, but just to keep in mind that, I guess if you've had the discussion, but I just wouldn't want to see somebody in a hardship situation and the town automatically coming in and doing it. That's,
I can speak to that if you want there, Councillor Pollard.
Go ahead, Mark.
So the, the point of that there, Deputy Mayor, would be to, in case when we got a water leak, so I mean, if we're paying to have our water treatment treated, we don't want to just spill it over the ground, that's the idea. And I don't think, the intention of it is not to have someone have the bill paid in 2 weeks. That would obviously go back through finance, and so there would be a lot of discussion before we get to that point, right? But like I say,
Yeah.
we had to set a timeline, because we don't want, same thing with sewer, we don't want sewer
I
just
know.
spilling out, we've got to take control of it at some point in time,
yeah,
right?
and
So-
maybe it could be charged back on, as long as you've been talking about that, I just
Yeah.
wouldn't want to see something.
Yeah, the
you know,
intent
that
is not to put someone in
situation.
hardship, but by no means.
Yeah, okay,
Yep.
Okay. All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
The other items are there for your leisurely reading. They're pretty much a repeat of what was there before. The last item, J, is we had a couple of pieces of machinery up for auction, and we had a motion here that Town of Torbay accept Noble Construction bid of $37,501 to purchase a 2007 JCB 436 ZX loader with standard bucket power angle blade with side wing attachment. Noble Construction will be responsible for all taxes and transfer fees. So moved.
Second,
Moved and seconded. Questions? All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Next motion, the Town of Torbay accept Versatile Group Inc. bid of $511.23 to purchase a 2008 JCB 3CX backhoe with standard bucket and angle sweeper. Versatile Group Inc. will be responsible for all taxes and transfer fees. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
So ends my report, Your Worship.
All righty. Thank you.
Recreation and Community Services.
Recreation and Community Services, Deputy Mayor.
Okay, everything in here is no motions. The motion that I guess pertain to this has already been done with regards to the seniors dinner. Halloween event, there's nothing. Christmas events coming up. Worth mentioning though that Christmas events registration for the breakfast, Pictures with Santa, seniors Christmas dinner and shopping excursion opens on November 15th for residents and November 22nd for non-residents. Other than that, the Christmas dinner that shows in here about having the funding, so we've already got that looked after earlier. And New Year's Eve, there will be fireworks at 8 p.m. at the bottom of Holy Trinity Lane, and the Remembrance Day ceremony at 10:45 on November 11th. Any individual or organization would like to lay a reader can register by emailing smartin@torbay.ca. One important one, I guess, here for the update is for about the outdoor rink. And we had some discussion on it and the logistics of building an outdoor rink. Again, the director informed the committee that the project is not feasible on the green space behind the Torbay Common and would be a challenge in any location due to the climate on the Avalon. We had approximately 212 staff hours on this project for about $6,000 in wages for a total of 5 days usage. And it also used 32,000 gallons of water per season. So I know when we said it that we are going to get comments and that from the residents when come February, January, February, or March. But it's important to keep in mind when you look at what it costs and if we're going to go with that, because it's not included in the upcoming budget for 2024.
I mean, it's pretty clear to me that it's not feasible to do. It's gonna cost that much money and for to get that much use. We got several ponds around town that people use for skating on, and I know there was somebody volunteering last year up at Rick Rod Pond on Balding Lawn, clearing it, and they had light poles up, they had everything. So,
And I know in Western Island Pond, when that was put in, the Director of Public Works and Infrastructure, that it was supposed to be able to be used as a rink
you're talking about the tennis court?
in not Upper Three, in Forest Landing.
Yeah, on Barkwood Drive. It has has drain holes in it. to
Yeah,
let the
but it
water-
was supposed to be, so I don't know if that's something we can look at or what, but that was the intent when that was put in.
Yeah,
You're
so
going-
I do recall that. I wasn't director at the time,
Yeah.
but I do recall that. I remember they attempted to flood it one year, and there's something to do with grade, the way the grade was done on it, that didn't really work. But it's certainly something we can look at this year, because I think what they had done back then, and that was a number of years ago, was that they used the pump and took water from the river there and just basically flooded it, and then they would just let it take its own course, I guess, right?
Yeah,
But, yeah.
anyway, it's
But
something
we-
I guess
we'd certainly look at it.
looking into, but that was the intent, because I know it cost us extra money at the time when that was put in there. And the Christmas lights, hard to believe that we're talking about that, but the director informed that the Recreation Community Services were looking after the Torbay Common and all the town facilities and amenities after fall under Public Works. Don't forget, I gotta put my plug in there for the snowflakes if you haven't contacted.
I've got that on my list. I've one thing, if you're, I meant to mention to Councillor Powler, but we're sending out a notice later this week as well for Christmas trees. Anybody got a Christmas tree on their property or knows where there's one that the town can use, because every year it's getting harder and harder to find trees. So we're looking for something between 16 and 20 feet high.
There's one over in the Deputy Mayor's yard.
Two in the,
You saw it, did you? Oh,
Thank you,
my.
Mayor.
I'm expecting any time for, that happened to my neighbour. You might think it's funny, but he lost a couple of his trees there a number of years ago because of that.
Yeah, but
Went out one morning and they were gone.
yeah, the midnight tree cutters.
Anyway, the budget committee discussed follow items on the budget presentation and additional information to council, staffing hours. That's there, it just says about the committee to discuss the logistics on various programs and staffing coverage.
Okay.
Other than that, that's it.
Anybody have any questions? Good, thank you. All right, where are we to? Liaison.
Liaison committees.
There you go. You got it. Liaison committees. Atlantic Mayor's Congress, I don't have any update. Intergovernmental affairs, federal, provincial, municipal. Yeah, I can give an update on that. So, this weekend, in conjunction with MNL conference, we did have a meeting of our representatives, I guess mostly the mayors and staff from our communities here on the Northeast Avalon. So that would include everybody from Bay Bulls, Holyrood, and everywhere down here. So 15 total communities. We had a meeting with Minister Haggie and some department officials from Municipal Affairs and Municipal Affairs, used to be Municipal Affairs and Environment, and Track Consulting. So they went over an overview of the Northeast Avalon Regional Plan. And they felt they had to do that because so much time has passed. They started to talk about creating this new plan in 2005 because the plan that we work under now is from 1972. And it's called the St. John Surger or something. They call it St. John's Urban Regional Plan. So people would notice when we around here and we want to do a rezoning, or we'll get one that'll come in from another town. Portrait Coast St. Philip's wants to rezone this land from rural to recreation or whatever. And when you do that, it triggers a regional plan amendment, which is this thing that was created in 1972. So we're still using it. And in order for us to do a rezoning, we have to rezone that plan too. So as you can appreciate, it's old and antiquated. However, I will say this, most of the transportation corridors that were developed through that plan are almost all done. So that would include the Torbay Bypass Road was on that plan that was developed in 1972, which was kind of, it does offer a certain amount of protection so that the council can't come in here and just go out and design whatever they want without triggering that regional amendment. So everybody can say, hang on now, there's a road designated to go through there, because I think the bypass road is a good thing, and so do the people that use it. But without those type of regional plans, you wouldn't have that overall planning going to it. I think Team Guju Highway was part of that too, and the Outer Ring Road, and a few other things. Anyway, in 2005, they realized they need a new one. 2007, they started working on it. 2014, everything came to a halt. So over a number of ministers, a couple of governments probably, and lots of hours and money were pumped into getting this plan updated. And in 2014, it kind of stalled. So the minister recognizes that this needs to be done. They did say that this is the provincial government's plan. It's not our plan per se, but it is one that we'll be using. So we did have an opportunity for new people on council since 2014 to get a rundown of where they're to with the plan, what needs to be addressed, all these things. So we did have some good discussion and asked some questions about it. But that was the initial first step. So the next step, we're going to be waiting now to hear back from the department again to get all the stakeholders together to have a more, I guess, wholesome discussion on where we go with that. So that's pretty much it, Sandy, isn't it? Right? Yeah. So that was for my notes that I didn't take. Shocking. All righty. Jack Byrne Regional, House of Power.
Thank you, Your Worship. We did meet since last time, and I have a bunch of material somewhere just not with me at the present time. Yeah, we did our regular, supposedly quarterly meeting, but it's the one we haven't had since March. I will table the documents next meeting, actually, in terms of what was done. There was a fair bit of repairs and maintenance done. And the revenues are good from a rental perspective, from both ICE and for special events. This way, it looks like we're projecting somewhere in the area about maybe $85,000 or so surplus at the end of the year, which is absolutely fantastic compared to where we've been the past number of years. And the fact, I think last year we actually put some money back in, a little bit money back in anyway. So it's looking good, and next year looks pretty good. So fingers crossed, but there is still a fair bit of work that needs to be done, and we need to revisit the, as Gentleman Slaney was saying there last week, in terms of those reserves that need to be built up again for some larger items that need to be taken care of. So I will bring that information forward so we have a full package on the Jack Byrne and what they had done, but I can't do all that from memory at the present time, but I do know you try to keep track of the good news. So $87,000 surplus or $85,000 surplus to the end of the year, all fingers crossed, unless November falls out of it altogether, will be good, and certainly brings us into the new year on a positive note for Jack Byrne. So,
Okay.
thank you, Your Worship.
They do have a couple of money-making things coming up, right? The Christmas market and
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Yeah, November is supposed to be a strong revenue month, so hopefully fingers crossed.
Good. All right, thank you very much. Nordic Satellite Joint Council, Deputy Mayor.
We're attempting to have a meeting on Thursday lunchtime, but as of this evening, we only have 5 people. We were going to do it by Zoom. And we had some difficulty, as I mentioned last meeting, due to losing our treasurer and trying to get things up to speed. And if we don't have one this week, unfortunately, it'll be in December, because our secretary is going on vacation for a few weeks, so she won't be back until the end of November. So maybe over the next day or so, we'll get more people interested to have a quorum on Thursday, but right now, everything is still on hold.
Okay, all right, thank you. Ron LeFlanc Stabler, I don't have any update. I think that CEO, I want to have an opportunity to get a chat with you and figure out. I want to invite the RNC down to come to do a community information session, because I've been hearing a lot of things lately, in particular about ATVs and dirt bikes driving on the road, which is always a problem. But there has been some changes to the, I don't know if it was the Highway Traffic Act or the All-Terrain Vehicles Act, that allow for those vehicles to be on a roadway for a kilometer to get from point A to point B. And I think that, of course, with any issue, more information people have and the better educated they are, the more they understand an issue, probably prevent them from getting too worked up about something that might not be an issue altogether.
So you're looking at a public session, you mean?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I don't know if we'll probably do it after Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't see any point in, because, well, the summer's almost over now, and we're getting into the skidooing season, but with everything coming up for Christmas throughout November now and December, it's probably be difficult, and they're busy too. So we'll just make sure it's on our radar. Tory Volunteer Fire Department. Councilor Manning, no report.
I know, report.
Perfect. You're on fire. Urban Municipalities Committee. So we had our latest meeting at the day prior to the convention starting, which is our new schedule. It's not a terribly long meeting. It's only 3 hours, but we had a good opportunity to talk about some things that are going on around wastewater. We talked about. We actually had, I believe, the company there presenting to us that were here and gave council a rundown. Do you remember what the name of that company was, Tony? The ones that do the beds?
No.
Anyway, they were here. And they were
Wetland
wonderful.
Solutions.
Oh, the
What was it? What was it
Wetland Solutions.
Wetland Solutions, yes. So we had a presentation by them. We got an opportunity to ask some questions. And I did have a chance to talk to some people from out around that have these systems installed already. Very happy with them. Happy with the cost to put them in, and extremely happy with the operating cost afterwards. So I'm really glad that we had them in. It's an opportunity for us to look at alternate solutions to putting a big treatment plant down at the beach. And, as I guess if we had to do it 20 years ago, we would have had no alternative but only to do the big thing. But as time goes on, technologies change.
And I did speak to Keith Keating about that too while he was there, and he said that they're really pleased with it. But the one they have there is in Marystown is there's 40 houses on that, right?
Yeah.
And they couldn't find the land to do the other one, so hopefully we'd have better luck in terms of hours.
Yeah. I was talking to, oh my God, I was talking to a mayor from a smaller town. They're looking at, they have to do a solution for 12 houses. And when you look at it, install it, putting something like that in, obviously, my suggestion to him was put in 12 wells and 12 septic fields and then wipe your hands of it. And then you don't have to deal with it anymore, for that number of houses. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. I'm sure that we'll run into them as we go forward. One thing though that I was successful in landing our next UMC meeting host, which will be sometime in March in the town of Pasadena. So that was good. I got Pasadena lined up for March, Bay Roberts for the late summer one, and already Happy Valley Goose Bay for next year, one of those ones. So it was really busy getting that stuff lined up. Excuse me. No, almost skipped ahead. Where are we? Board is? Very bored.
Notices of motion.
Notices of motion. We don't have any. Perfect. Empty. All right, where are we to?
New business.
Go ahead.
Councillor Manning.
There you go. Tell her to speak up.
Oh, I can feel the love. I just wanted to say a great big thank you to everyone who participated in the trunk or treat. And Sunday I had my 2 grandbabies down and they absolutely loved it. So for everyone who was there with their trunks opened, thank you from a nanny who had 2 very happy grandbabies coming back in the car. Really appreciate it. So thank you to all.
Perfect.
Councillor Pollard.
Councillor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship. Congratulations to 2 people. Firstly, I want to extend sincere congratulations to our Deputy Mayor, Mary Thorne-Goss, for 20 years of service as a municipal councillor. She received an award Saturday night from the minister, and we all got our picture taken. And it turned out all right too, actually, surprisingly enough. Well, I mean, 20 years is a long time to be sitting at these tables and going through the ups and downs and the issues you face and and the personalities you meet during that time frame. So kudos to you, Mary, and hopefully you'll have another 20 or so yet to come.
Thank you very much.
40 is possible, as you know.
Yeah, I know.
The second, and I apologize for I was trying to get technology to work here, so if anyone saw me on my phone and on my computer, it wasn't because I was fooling around. I was trying to get the information. I can't get it in a format that's really suitable for me to do. I want to extend another sincere congratulations to Madeline Florent. As everyone knows, Madeline is pretty forefront in terms of everything she does in Torbay for the environment and especially the East Coast Trail and things of that nature. She received the Environmental Steward Award, Individual Community Champion from the Stewardship Association of Municipalities meeting that was held in Bay Roberts. I'm going to try to read this, and forgive me if it takes a bit of time. The SAM Environmental Stewardship Award is used to recognize an individual, group, organization, or business who has gone above and beyond in their community to support wildlife habitat stewardship, whose responsible management of wildlife habitat and the environment within Newfoundland and Labrador exceeds expectations. And I think we can all say that of Madeline in terms of our, I'll say run-ins for lack of a better word, because my vocabulary is not too well at the present time, but any time that we see Madeline, she's always got the wildlife and habitat and
Our interactions.
and the environment in her mind. The Individual Community Champion Award recognizes an individual's significant initiative or achievement in environmental stewardship in Newfoundland and Labrador. This individual's attention will have had a positive environmental impact, proving to be a key force in conserving the environment. The award recognizes an individual's contribution to environmental sustainability, bringing us one step closer to a greener future. So, thank you very much, Madeline, and congratulations on that award.
Yep, well said. All right.
Deputy Mayor Thorne Goss.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I also had Madeline down in there, but I wouldn't have done as good a job as what Councillor Pollard just done, getting into the details. I'd like to thank the staff at the Common for all of the Halloween events. I know that they all went over really well. The pumpkin carving, the haunted hikes, Halloween spectacular, and the trunk or treat. And I also got a thank you here to our Director of Human Resources, Mark Whalen, for the excellent job that he did in filling in to our past CAO and filling in for her up until we hired our new CAO, Sandy Hounsel, a few weeks ago. So I'd like to commend him on doing a great job and I guess, in the most part, orienting and getting our new CAO up to speed, helping him as, but thank you very much. It was a pleasure working with you, so all the best. In going back to your other job with your other priorities, so thank you, Mark.
All right. I was wondering, was he going somewhere?
No, but he's going back, he was doing the 2 jobs that he had there, so I just want to.
Oh, no.
did
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. I totally agree with you. Where am I? Oh, yeah, me. As usual, I want to thank staff for all the work that they've done for the last couple of weeks since our last meeting. And I want to thank everybody who came out yesterday to the trunk or treat. I was there, as usual, my big orange costume on, or red, whatever color it is. And it was a great time. We had 378 kids came through, which is awesome, and with their parents and people dressed up. It was a lot of fun. And Councillor Manning was there playing nanny with her kids, and she had a big smile on her face as did they. And I was also informed that there was 175 people came for the Halloween spectacular in the building on Saturday. Excuse me. So that's great. I love seeing people in that building over there. It's a beautiful spot, and everybody I talk to tells me that, so I have to believe it. Congratulations, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you.
20 years, and there's not too many people around that advocate as strongly as you have been for those 20 years. I've been here with you for 10 of them.
Put you through misery.
I thought about that the other day. I said, "Oh my God, I've been here for 10." And but it just goes to show how fast the time flies. And I want to say congratulations not only to you but all those other people who were recognized at the convention on the weekend. 40 years, and you're not joking. There was it's 40 years.
No,
on
no, I
council,
wasn't joking.
right? And
35.
35, and
30.
30, and the amount of time and dedication that people put into serving in their communities. And a lot of those communities, people are there and they're not blessed as we are to have such a number of qualified, experienced staff. They're on their own, sometimes down in the hole, fixing sewer leaks and stuff, which, it's really no place for a volunteer to be, but that's what happens in some of them small towns. They really, they're staff and they're the council, so a lot of credit got to be given to them. So maybe we'll get another 10 out of it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes after the next two. But congratulations.
Thank you.
And yes, the photo was beautiful. Where am I? How about you? What do you have? Speak in there now so everybody can hear you.
Thank you to Mom and Dad for their support.
Nice. You're having the contest. Oh, yeah.
Thank Council for the contest.
Right, and having you over here. So, what'd you think? Was it fun? Would you like to do it again? Would you like to do this all the time? No.
Don't push it.
Yeah. So, did you want to tell everybody a bit about what you wrote in your essay when you wrote? Do you remember?
No.
Oh my God. How bad am I? I should have had that printed off. I had the last one, didn't I? Yeah. So, do you remember any of the things that you talked about?
That was last spring.
Were you talking about, I'm pretty sure, if I remember, that you were talking about playgrounds and trails? Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I can remember.
Okay, so tell me, what do you like about living in Torbay? Honey, you don't like anybody living here? Do you play sports?
I do figure skating.
Oh, nice.
I do dance. And I do flute.
Ooh, where do you do dance? Coastal?
Sorensen.
Sorensen, that's where my daughter did dance. You do flute? At school, in the band? Oh, that's cool. And figure skating, where do you do that, Mount Pearl?
Prince of Wales.
Prince of Wales. Okay. You looking forward to Christmas? Yeah? Got any special wishes for Christmas?
Not yet.
I bet your mom and dad
Get
are,
over Halloween
I
first.
bet your mom and dad are wishing the taxes don't go up. Anyway, I'm so happy that you came here tonight and spent the night with us doing our meeting. And it must have been because you were here. The meeting went really quick tonight. We were here for like 3 hours. And you have to take a break and get supper and everything. I'm just kidding. It doesn't usually take that long. But sometimes it does. But we have question and answer session. We just did our little question and answer session. Now I have a question from a resident. And this resident is Robbie Hicks. And Robbie says, I'm pleased to see our town council approve the radon test program presented at council this evening. I wish to request that any notices for announcements regarding this program be distributed to Torbay residents by all means possible. This includes the green email system as well as the usual social media methods so that residents who do not use social media are informed. Many thanks, Robbie Hicks, resident, town of Torbay. Robbie, thank you very much for your question. And I think that, to Councillor Pollard's point earlier, we want to make sure that when we do put this program out to the residents, they understand completely what it's all about, what they need to do. Once they get the test results, if there's an issue that they have, that where to contact and who to do. And we will make sure that we put it out there to whatever means necessary to make sure that everybody gets the information that they need. And thank you again for your question. And that is it. Our next public council meeting is scheduled to take place on Tuesday, November 14th, 2023, 6:30 p.m. right here in the Torbay Council Chambers in the town of Torbay. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried, slam the hammer. There you go. All right, thank you, everybody.